Hi, everybody.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Thanks for bearing with us. We had some technical difficulties. We have a brand new setup for this one. And Jet is now in charge, so I'll shut up.
Well, welcome to Non-Standard Action, presenting Rise of the Star-Lords. Last week, our heroes went to a festival. Some of them came from the stars in potted plants and told fortunes. Some of them stared in wonder at all of these games and prizes that they never imagined because they'd spent their whole life on this moon. Some of them traipsed out of the woods and were very angry, and some of them juggled some chainsaws. Bad things happened. Goblins fell from the heavens. Violence ensued. They saved a doggo. And that's where we left off. Wow, I need a visual reference. All right. Tom, tell us
Hi.
who you're playing. And I asked everyone a question yesterday. Tell us who was Jacinto's first love, if they had one.
So Jacinto is a very young Raxolite. He's like, oh gosh, what did I give him for age? It's not going to be on that sheet. He's very young. Jacinto is a flowering Raxolite. Has a hyacinth. We've decided a pompadour on his head. And he's dressed simply. Doesn't have any weapons to speak of. And in terms of first love, I honestly do think that Jacinto hasn't quite been in love just yet. He's out there exploring the universe, living life one day at a time. Maybe love will happen to him. Who knows?
Maybe. All right, let's move on to Nick as Lahan. Sorry, I took that away from you, but you also have the same question. Who was Lahan's first love, if she had one?
Well, Lahan is a local girl. She's never left this moon. I imagine she thinks she's been in love with essentially her high school sweetheart. But I also think she's wrong. I don't think she really is old enough to know what love is just yet. You know, being as young as she is.
Fair enough. And we have someone new joining us. Lapis, who will be playing
Finn.
Finn.
Yeah, Finn is a.
Was Finn?
Sorry, I already knew your question.
That's totally fine. Go right ahead.
So Finn is a Borai. He was once human, and when he was human is when he had his first love. He was in love with a gal who he was in a cult with. Her name was Melody, also a human. We were in a cult together on Magnamar, and that ended when Finn died before he became resurrected as a Borai.
Interesting and sad, honestly. All right, so we've got our recap, we've got our introductions, and now let's sort of zoom back in at the moment we last left off, with our heroes standing around petting a doggo while an Abyssinian Patra awkwardly hits on Jacinto and invites everyone to dinner at the Rusty Dragon Inn.
Yeah, and I think that we had agreed to meet this man. Did he give us his name again?
Aldern Foxglove.
Aldern Foxglove. I need to remember that name.
Speaking of doggos.
Yeah. Hey there, Bertram. Yep. That's happening. So Bertram is now a streaming star. Congratulations, Bertram.
Yep.
With Aldern Foxglove inviting us to his to meet him at the tavern that he's staying at. I think Jacinto would look around at everybody and say, it was very nice to meet your acquaintance. Hey, you're the one I met you in the tent. I read your fortune today. Looks like I was right, huh? You did experience some adventure. And he's like,
I
a little
did.
self-satisfied.
You are absolutely right. It's amazing.
Well, the spheres never lie. It's an amazing thing. I'm glad that you're okay.
Oh, me too. It's all thanks to this computer I installed.
Oh.
Points to her head. You can probably see a port, where her custom rig is installed.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Jacinto will say, "Oh yeah, that's a really nice, nifty piece of work. I'm not much for technology myself, aside from the whole." And he like waves at his little L-fan things that just sort of sprout out from behind him. They're the little tendril things that are like Raxalites are weird. They have like the little biomechanical tentacles that pop out of their head.
At this moment, you hear a awkward throat clearing, and Aldern says, "I'm sorry to interrupt, but I must be going." And he snaps his fingers and he says, "Jenkins, to me!" And he starts striding off very confidently with 100% assurance that his dog will follow. And it does, but reluctantly.
Oh.
Yes, because Lahan's been petting Bertram this whole time.
Jacinto will give a little stroke to Jenkins and say, "I'll see you later, boy. Glad you're okay."
Oh, the dog is Jenkins. I get it now. I went, meow.
The dog.
I thought he was yelling at a butler that we couldn't see.
Either that or I just stroked his butler as he walked by. So I hope I was right.
Jenkins was the dog, and Jenkins wags its tail very aggressively, and then it kind of droops and it wanders after its master.
Oh. We're going to miss Jenkins a lot more than we're going to miss Aldern.
Well, looks like
we're
we're
not
not going to Aldern that much.
Continue on, but Aldern needed to make his exit. He didn't want to awkwardly stand around and be ignored.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I'm sure Jacinto and Lahan go back to their discussion of Elfan, and Lahan wants to look at them if Jacinto lets her.
Oh yeah.
We have two characters to kind of write out here. Ava for the moment because Leaf is sick, and
I think Ava just disappeared into the shadows while you two were talking is what's going to happen, probably. That seems like an Ava thing.
Really glad she's just gone.
Yeah.
And Rakis is... They're going to be not very vocal right now. They're going to follow you around for a little bit, and then I'll let you know when they exit proper.
Sounds good. Cool.
It's like a plan. Should we go check on your booth and make sure everything's okay? Maybe I could help you fix it if the goblins did any damage.
Oh yeah, that would be wonderful. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's go check it out. And we turn around and Jacinto will call to Artania, his empathnid, and the Artania will sort of like skitter along behind.
Cute spider.
What was that?
Oh, what a cute little spider! Lahan is also impressed by your cute little spider.
Oh, thank you.
I'm almost picturing Artania kind of like luggage from Discworld. Like you probably have you have like a little bag on her back or their back. I'm not sure their gender, and they just kind of follow you around, and periodically you have to reach in there and get stuff out. I don't know why.
Oh man. All right, yeah. I've never read Discworld, much to my my chagrin. But
it was some sentient luggage with hundreds of feet that just followed a guy around. It just bonded to him, and it was indestructible and unstoppable and terrifying to behold, and it was glorious.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, so Jacinto looks up at Lehan and says, "Yeah, this is Artania. They're my little, they sort of bonded to me, and we just they've followed me around ever since. They help me interpret the will of the universe."
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're very very empathic creatures. It's it's in the name, empathnid, and so I find that they're sort of attuned to the universe and the song and whatnot.
Being attuned to you, I feel like they also
Does-
dance quite a lot. I feel like you sort of you're tied to the song of the universe. I almost feel like there's a little subtle soundtrack to your life.
Probably, yeah.
And I feel like Artanya picks up on
Okay.
that. And Artanya kind of grooves along with it a lot of the time.
Yeah, sort of sways and we'll do a little turn, like a little turn as they're walking, and like go off and come back, and yep. Yeah, no.
Feel free to totally say no if I have an idea that you don't like.
Jed, I haven't disliked a single idea that you've come up with yet. Keep them coming.
Okay.
Yeah. So we
So what do we find when we make it back to the technological flower pot ship?
It's not unscathed, but it's not wrecked. Like, it needs some work. It needs a good mechanic's hand. Made it survived a riot, basically, with goblins that were just literally trying to set everything on fire.
We still have to look into that.
But luckily,
Hey, we got a subscriber.
Oh, neat.
Hey, thanks, Rigodona.
Thanks, Rig.
But luckily, I mean, most of your setup was this massive, colorful force field. So it was protected from above. Nothing fell on it. And if it did, it just slid to the side. You sort of had like a holographic force field tent around your potted plant. So it was partially protected. But, some damage did occur. Probably someone running through the tent, slamming into it. Maybe a goblin chased him in and was like, "What's that?" and just took a pot shot and kept running. That sort of thing. Pot shot. That wasn't
You remember what I said? No.
That wasn't intentional.
No, I
my
love
bad
it.
instincts kicked in at that point, and I had to acknowledge it.
Yeah. Okay, so Jacinto looks around and says, the old girl really held it together. Nice job. And he smacks the side of one of the wrought iron legs, and then starts climbing his way up to see how the pot held up.
The inside's fine. It's mostly cosmetic stuff on the outside.
Okay. Awesome.
Some carbon scoring. Haha.
Yeah, sci-fi. Okay. Wow.
Well,
this looks all right.
yeah, it looks like it held up pretty well. Solid bit of engineering you've got here.
Yeah, we've put it together bits and bobs as we've gone along. It was mostly Rackus. Rackus handles the engineering side of things, and then I handled the business side of things. And it's been a good life living in the carnival.
I imagine these two spend the afternoon sort of fixing up anything they can. At some point, Lahan probably finds something that's like, this could be improved. And
It's
makes
well
it better.
past afternoon, because when everything happened was sunset. And I said you have an hour and a half, 2 hours until your proposed dinner with Aldern. So
yes.
Either go as you are, get spruced up. We could fast forward and be like, yes, we're arriving, and this is how we appear. Is there anything you want to touch on before that, or would you like to fast forward a little bit?
I suppose Lahan will ask Jacinto if he wants to get cleaned up at all, and offer. We have a house. You'd have to. I don't know what my brothers would think of you, but you're welcome to come by if you want to get cleaned up before we go down to the Rusty Dragon.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Thank you very much. Yeah, I could get spruced up a little bit. And he'll just grab, I don't know, his other nice robes. Because Jacinto just sort of wears, I don't want to say the stereotypical wizard's robes and stuff like that, but he's a carny, so he's wearing
performer.
Yeah. So he's wearing the getup and stuff like that. That comprises most of his clothes. So yeah, he grabs a nice tiny little set of robes, with him, folds them over one twig arm, and follows you to your house. And then we get cleaned up. Yeah. And yeah.
It is a surprisingly large house.
Oh. Wow, this is
on
nice.
the far south side of town, I believe, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Jet, you're mute.
I was letting you guys do things.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
That I feel like I needed to intercede. You jumped right on. I was going to be like, let's talk about the outside of this house. I don't want to spend a lot of time inside it right now, but describe it. And you just jumped right on that. So.
Okay, good. Yes, it's a rather large house, and Lahan sort of sneaks you in a side door to the kitchen, and has a couple of servants, get us some hot water and stuff just to clean off the blood. She'll run upstairs and change into a different pair of coveralls, and a flowered shirt.
All right.
And then be back downstairs to head out to the Rusty Dragon.
All right. Now I'm going to. You're used to this, Lahan, but Jacinto's seeing this for the first time. The Rusty Dragon is so called for its frankly astonishing architecture. This building is sculpted of steel, stone, and wood in the shape of a dragon coiling around the base of a circular tower. The dragon's eyes are white and amber-colored stained glass, lit from within, while smoke drifts lazily out of the beast's nostrils.
Wow. Good to see that somebody else has a sense of showmanship around here, too. This is nice.
Oh, yeah. Amiko does a great job running this place. You're going to love it.
Oh.
And one thing
awesome.
Lahan would know is there's 2 inns in this town. There's this inn, which is a little bit more rambunctious, and then there is the White Deer.
That's right. I remember that mentioned from last week.
Yeah.
This is by far the better bar. This is where all the adventurers tend to congregate when they come into town. It's my favorite place.
Oh, wonderful.
Come on.
All right.
And you walk in, and it's not bustling because of what just happened, but there's a couple regulars that are in there that they're the kind of people that would be unfazed by nearly anything short of an apocalypse. The people that show up at 10 o'clock and just start their steady day of drinking and possibly telling stories. But it's very welcoming inside. Massive fireplace set into and underneath the skull where the snout of the dragon would be. Some rocking chairs around it. Some nice, comfortable looking like tables and seats. It's like a warm wooden interior with some soft lighting above. Got some speakers all over, just like not even visible, but you can just hear some low music. And Lahan knows that one of the things this place is well known for is that Amiko will perform sometimes, and she draws quite the crowd when she does perform. She has quite the voice on her. And as you walk in, there's a table set up a little bit fancier than all the others. There's a white tablecloth on it, which is not normal. And you see Jenkins laying at the feet of Aldern, and he's sitting there, and there's like candles on the tablecloth, and he's just sitting there drinking a goblet of wine.
Huh.
This guy.
And when you walk in, he sees you, and he just kind of lazily waves you over.
All right.
Is Finn perhaps also in the bar, or do you have a different plan?
Finn, tell us, where would you be situated in this establishment? Because you are here.
I'm going to be hanging out at the bar, drinking, and kind of keeping an eye on things at the moment.
Could you physically describe yourself? What
Yes.
are our other players seeing?
So, Finn is large and well built. He stands at about 6'2", and he's decently muscly. He's wearing freebooter armor. You can't see any weapons on him, but he does have what looks like a little sphere of darkness floating by his head. That's his stellar moat. He's a Solarian. And he's also got red, scruffy-looking hair, and he is so pale that he's almost translucent, with veins of negative energy running under his skin. Kind of weird looking.
And I
Was-
imagine as
I
sorry.
I have a question. Was Finn here for the goblin attack?
I was. I helped with it on the fringes. I've been around, but in the background.
And as you walk in, Finn probably glances around, and you'll notice Finn has the most unusual eyes. They're pinpricks of red light. Very unusual, very intense.
Well, that's unsettling. And Jacinto will make his way over to Aldern's table, stopping, of course, to say hi to Jenkins.
Yeah, Lahan's gonna do the same, sort of trying to avoid eye contact with Finn, like he's a little bit scary, like not sure what to make of this guy.
Jenkins sees you, and ears perk up, and the tail starts on the floor. But he stays laying next to Aldern. Like, he's very well trained.
Who's a good boy? Oh, such a good boy.
Oh, it's
Like
very
you
good
can
to see you
see-
again, Jenkins.
Aldern gets a little bit of an unpleasant look on his face briefly, and then he turns it into a what he thinks is a charming smile. And he's like, Jacinto, so lovely to see you again. You as well, Lahan.
Yes, it's very good to see you again, Aldern. Could I make a sense motive check on this guy to see why he hates his frickin' dog?
Oh, yeah,
'Cause
you can
he's
totally do that.
Fleamhead.
Yeah. It's a 21. Give me the T.
He doesn't hate his dog. He doesn't care about his dog.
That's almost worse.
Right?
Yeah.
It's an accessory. The beautiful,
Fleamhead.
friendly, loving accessory. But that's all it is to him.
Wow.
The
All
jerk
right. Well,
guy.
with that in mind, Jacinto sort of like, steals himself and then says,
And I feel like that sense motive, it came to you in the form of a song.
okay.
You
You're
just kind of
so
looked at him
big.
and you opened yourself up to the will of the universe, and you got like some instrumentals, probably classical. And I mean, you've lived with this for so many years at this point that you've learned how to interpret this, and like you get this like cold, indifferent feeling in regards to him and his dog, and you can see these notes connecting the two of them, and they're gray and dim and not vibrant. And
Yeah.
like all this stuff, but you do see like these other notes being generated, and they're fiery and blazing with passion, and they're all directed at you. Almost
no.
uncomfortably blazing.
Jacinto gulps.
It's one of those creepy obsession songs.
Yeah, yep.
I've been watching you.
It's the kind where like it makes your insides sort of twist and you feel nervous.
Yes. Yes, this is an AP Wither King. But okay. So I'll sit down at the table across from Aldern. Sort of I'll stand in my chair so I can see what's going on the table. And we'll say Artanya sort of crawls up onto the chair beside me and just like nestles there.
When you go to sit down, Aldern will stand up, walk around, pull your chair out, put a little booster on it that he's already had waiting, wait for you to sit, and he will help push you in.
guys
You
are
will
pretty cool.
notice he does not do the same for Lahan.
Oh, thank you. You're very kind.
Own chair. Getting increasingly uncomfortable with this.
You and me both, friend.
I think she's got just like maybe she's riding off of Jacinto's empathy. Like, I think Jacinto needs me. I should not abandon my new friend with this creeper. It's just a skill women have everywhere in the universe.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Jacinto's very young. He doesn't really know what to make of this. He knows it's weird, but beyond that, he's not sure how to handle it. So he's just going to hear this guy out, I think.
He's like, as promised, your reward, and there's cred sticks for all of you. And he was probably a good enough judge of character, as weird as it sounds, that there's like a sack that you can tell probably has UPBs in it for Ava.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Pays for everything in grains of UPBs.
And each one of those sticks, it's 500 credits.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, thank you. You're very generous.
It's nothing. I'm merely stopping by on my way to one of our family's vacation homes on the moon.
Oh, very nice. Do you come to this moon often then, as with a vacation?
It's actually my first time visiting. We've got many holdings. We primarily reside in Magnamar, and it recently came to my attention that we have a small estate out here on this moon, Foxglove Manor. You know, a little
nice.
Ostentatious, but
Huh.
it's been
heard of this
unoccupied for quite a long
Foxglove
time.
Manor?
You probably let's make a culture check.
Let me see. You know, it would probably help to like open my character sheet for this game. I might need that at some point. Let's see.
Maybe. Can't just talk the whole through.
What do I need a character sheet for?
Dice gotta be
We
rolled.
like, you know,
Hey, we were doing a lot of role playing.
theater of the mind. We don't need these dice. Roll 20's taking its sweet time. I don't think Lahan has any culture though.
You're a mechanic. You're
I might have
baseline
given her.
intelligent though.
Yeah. Come on, roll 20. I believe in you. What did I do to piss off Nolan this fine day? Nothing. I did nothing to you, Nolan. Nothing. See, that is 17.
All right, so you've heard of the existence of Foxglove Manor, and you feel like you've heard not so positive things about it, but you can't remember exactly what those things are.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, like it's a thing I've heard of, but it wasn't memorable enough to bother to remember it. You're right, Rig. Leaf does look parched. He wasn't feeling well today, so we replaced him with a dead leaf. We knew he would appreciate this pun.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
His favorite joke is that he is a leaf and not a leaf. Anyway, back to Foxglove. Han's like, oh, I think I've heard about that manor.
Oh, really? Nothing but positive things, right?
Oh, probably. Honestly, nothing that's stuck in my mind, just the name.
Oh, well, I mean, if we nearly forgot it in my family, I can't really fault the locals.
So how did you come to discover that your family had? How does one forget that one owns property?
Well, the property was built by my grandfather, and he resided there. I didn't know him growing up, and when my parents passed, I got access to a bunch of documentation, and I was looking through, and I found a deed for a place that I did not know existed.
Oh. Well, that's happy. I'm terribly
I felt
sorry
like
for
I
your...
needed a little holiday.
Yes. I am, of course, sorry for the loss of your parents and your grandparents.
Oh, that's so kind of you. And he reaches over delicately and places just a couple fingers on the back of your little stick nub. Briefly, and then, politely puts it back in his hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So have you managed to
lap,
get out
sorry.
to your... yeah. Have you managed to get out to your property yet?
Not yet. I arrived shortly before the festival, and I heard that it was going to happen. So I decided to rent some rooms here at this fine establishment for a few days, hang around, enjoy the festival, meet the locals, and then I was going to rent a vehicle and travel on to the manor and see what sort of shape it was in.
Ah, sounds lovely. A nice little vacation then.
Indeed.
Fine plan. It's too bad the festival was interrupted by those goblins.
Yeah.
And speaking of interruptions, at that point, a local comes up. A local that works here that is not a Miko. And we need to determine the species of this NPC.
I know what Simon wants.
Halflings are still good in this mythology. But who else is small? Isoki?
Isoki's. They're the best.
Isokis are the
We
best.
got a hobgoblin in the chat.
Do you have a hobgoblin in the chat?
I suppose Space Goblin would be too soon. What with the Space Goblin assault?
Yeah, I think we got too
Space
many
Goblin would be
goblins
Skittermander.
around here.
Unless someone's super
Skittermander!
Unless someone's super against it, I'm down for the hobgoblin suggestion from Ghost in the Network.
Bruneri.
Let's do.
Do we have a Bruneri yet?
We
I
do.
feel-
That is Sirdik Drakis, the owner of the theater.
Oh, right. We have a Bruneri.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So Nick, you suggested small. Does this creature have to be small then, or?
Oh, I know who it is originally.
Oh, sure.
And
Well, yeah, hobgoblin then.
A hobgoblin.
ooh, Rig gave us a +1 to roll.
What's up?
Thank you, Rig.
Thanks, Rig.
We got a +1 to
Rig gave us that.
to any roll.
This is a hobgoblin woman by the name of Berthana Corwin. And
What is she?
Hi, Bathana.
She's one of the few people I apparently did not make a sheet for.
Oh, that's quite all right.
I need to make a note of her. Anna Hobgoblin.
This is an incredible amount of notes, by the by.
It
Yeah,
is a
it's
little.
true.
It is a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And all of those are editable by you. So if you guys want to make up any backstory for the locals or take current notes on them, that's all for you guys.
Thanks.
Nice.
Will do.
Berthana moseys on over. She's a hobgoblin woman. I'm gonna say she's just wearing some. She's not super fashionable. She's a little bit more utilitarian. Just some slacks, probably maybe a sleeveless shirt, and she's got a custom computer rig on her forearm that she seems to process the orders and payment through. And she shows up and she's like, "What'll you be having tonight?" Aldern already ordered for himself. But he asked that we hold the preparation until his guests arrive. What would you like?
Well, I'll just have whatever's on special, Berthana.
Understood, Lahan. The usual.
The usual.
This brings up an interesting question. If a plant creature eats a salad, is that cannibalism?
Well, I mean, to
Yes.
be ethical, you should only eat meat.
But then when we eat
Should
meat,
only
no,
eat
because when we eat meat,
Mineral
we're
supplements
animals.
and water.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know.
Mineral goo.
I don't even know if Raxalites eat. I'll have a salad.
I mean, you don't have like a photosynthesis ability, do you?
I might. I know Gorans do, but I'll look into that. But for now, I'm having a salad. The house salad, please.
Understood. And she,
Happens
tapped
when
a couple
Rex
things
Lights
in her
get
little
drunk.
gauntlet. And she probably, would you like a mineral water?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you.
I'll bring that right up. And she, finishes taking her notes, and she glides off towards the kitchen. She's a very graceful woman.
Wow.
Nice.
So
You guys here with this creeper?
yeah. This, weirdly enough, this reminds me of a story that my friend told me once, where him and his lady friend were invited to dinner with a creeper. But I digress.
I'm your friend in that story right now.
Well, you're the friend, and I'm the guy, I guess. Except he wasn't a plant guy in the original story. What, Jet?
And I'm going to interrupt you, both you in character and out of character. An elderly Triaxian man slams the door open to the rusty dragon, and he shouts something that, does any of you speak Triaxian? You included, Lapis.
Nope.
Oh, you know?
I got
Let me check.
common.
I gotta pick I'm bad. I did not pick my languages like
Nick, you never pick your languages. This happened in Pathfinder 2 the other day.
I feel like
I'm
you still
really
get
bad.
language.
It's like the last thing you're supposed to do, right? I have. Oh shoot!
It's like one of the first things you're supposed
Sometimes
to do.
this sheet.
Yeah, it's definitely
Right?
one of the first things.
It's right on the top of your character
All
sheet.
right. Well, I'm just bad about remembering it. I usually do my comment and then like my background of my my home world and my race language, and then I forget the rest of them.
I just never play smart characters, so I never have many languages.
No, I've got a
But
zero
yeah, I
hypnotic-
should absolutely have 5 more languages than I do right now.
Well, do you think Lahan would speak Triaxian?
If it's pretty common around town, then sure.
There's one prominent family that are all ethnically Triaxian, and if you maybe spent enough time at the Rusty Dragon and got interested in it, I could see you maybe learning it. But there's not a big Triaxian
Yeah, I think she
population.
probably idolizes Amiko a bit, so
Okay, so Lahan will
if you'll give it
understand
to me,
what's
I'll
being
write it
shouted.
down.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, Lahan understands what's being shouted. Where the hell is my daughter? And everyone else in the bar, the few that are there, get real quiet and avoid looking at this man. Lahan, you know that this is a gentleman by the name of Lonjiko Kaijitsu. And he owns the Sandpoint Superconductor Manufactory, one of the most wealthy families in town, and one of the founding families as well. You also know that Amiko is his daughter.
Oh.
Yeah, Lahan's just gonna kind of eyes go wide, sort of sinks in her seat, trying to be small.
And he's looking around, and he's pissed. And as he's looking around, his eyes land on you two. And he just starts stalking towards you, completely forgetting why he came here to begin with. And he's like, what are you fools doing here? You endangered this entire town by engaging with those goblins and not letting trained professionals deal with it.
What?
Mr. Kaijitsu, I was just trying to help. I swear.
Lahan? Shh.
Sir, I was just defending my stall, if you will.
Sure. Of course you're going to say that.
Yes.
Freaking
I am.
adventurers ruining everything. And this is loud enough, and there's that pregnant silence that you can almost hear, and you see Amiko come out from the kitchen, and she's holding a ladle in her hand, and she's shouting back at her father in Triaxian. What are you doing here? This is my place of business. You need to get out. Stop bothering my customers. And they just start having at it with each other. How would you guys respond? Like, he is being unkind, to put it mildly, to her. He's trying to tell her, you need to come with me. We're going to Magnamar. Sandpoint isn't safe. This place is awful. It's bad enough that I can't protect you because you're not at home. It's bad enough that you've ruined my reputation by being an adventurer. It's bad enough that you further stained our family reputation by owning an inn of all things. And he's just laying into her.
How is she reacting to this?
She's fighting right back. You can tell that she is very upset, but she's a fiery lady. But he has the upper hand in that, he's the parent in this. He's the parent, a lot of ingrained instincts. So, like, while she is putting up a fight, think back, I'm going to just say, to movies where you see, like, a rebellious teenager standing up for themselves and just being browbeaten. That's sort of what's happening, although she's not a rebellious teenager. She's just a strong woman who went out and did something with her life and her father didn't approve,
Well, Finn can't understand what they're yelling about, but I think he's going to go intervene. I don't know what language they're talking, but I don't like that he's coming in here and yelling at everybody. So Finn's going to go...
For storytelling reasons, can Lahan make a yell before Finn jumps in?
Do it.
Yeah.
Because she's not going to be able to do anything physically. But Lahan will snap and slam her hands down on the table and say, the other founding families don't have a problem with it, and we think what Amiko has done is great. Just to shut him up for a minute, which will give Finn an in to do his thing.
He stops talking for just a second to look at you, and that's when Finn can intercede.
Yeah. Finn rises up from the bar, takes a couple of steps towards the yelling man and Amiko. And I want to roll an intimidate check. I'll find that on my sheet.
Lahan is not intimidating. She's just surprising.
Oh, snap! That's a net 20.
What'd you get?
Oh, did it do that?
Net 20.
Nice.
Nice.
Wow.
So.
He is...
Oh, I wanted to do words with it.
Do words with it,
Thank
then.
you.
Go forth.
I don't know what you're yelling about, but you can't just come in here and try to intimidate all of, not only the patrons, but also the owner of this inn. I think you need to be getting out of here.
He sort of pales a little bit and goes into a sort of a stunned silence. And it's just like this moment, this eternity of uncomfortable silence. And he spins on his heel and he stalks out the door, throwing it open, slamming it against the wall. And he's like, and he shouts over his shoulder, again in Triaxian. Unfortunately for you, Finn.
I have no idea what this
You're
is.
as dead to me as your mother. And he just walks out. And there's like a crack of thunder and it starts raining because, as we established previously, it rains very frequently on this moon.
Yeah.
So,
Lahan, appalled, goes straight to Amiko. Are you okay? She's in Triaxian. Are you okay? I can't believe he would even say that. What was he thinking? And just,
And
I have this vision in my head that, with Lahan being so obsessed with getting off this moon and talking to adventurers and stuff, she probably sees Amiko as something of the older sister she doesn't have at home, since she has 5 brothers.
Yeah. She's shaken, but she's like, no, I'll be fine. He's just being an asshole like he always is. He ran my brother out of town. He's publicly denounced me ever since I came back. I'll get through this. This is just the ramblings and ravings of an old man who can't deal with change. Thank you for your concern, and thank you. I feel like maybe would Finn have shared his name?
Yeah, I would have
Amiko
introduced myself when I came in.
Okay. Yeah. And thank you, Finn. I very much appreciate your assistance. Next round's on me. And she starts walking over to the bar.
Finn's gonna go
And
sit back
the
at the
few
bar.
people there kind of cheer.
Yeah.
Before you start walking back to the bar, Aldern gently reaches out and places his hand on your arm. He's like, "That was bravely done. Why don't you join me and my friends here?"
Finn hesitates for a moment. He looks at the table, looks at the friends. Is the little plant man nodding vigorously?
Yeah, come on.
And Jacinto, you feel another flare of music from Aldern.
Oh no.
And it burns, not quite as passionately as it did for you, but pretty damn close, and it's directed at this newcomer.
Well,
Interesting.
I suppose I could join you for a
Not
drink
more
or two.
What was that?
I suppose I could join you for a drink or two. Come sit at the table.
That would be lovely. And Aldern himself will go and get a chair from an empty table, bring it over, and seat you.
Oh,
That's
snap.
even more amusing because I'm not a tiny plant.
That's funny.
Oh, this creeper.
Oh
He's
my
such a
Oh,
creeper.
Ghost in the Network, they should.
We should run away.
Sorry.
We're
But
too polite.
But
I might be
thought
able
he
to
was
take
the
him.
Plot.
Well,
Wow.
we've got such a lovely group here. We're going to be having a lovely dinner shortly, and I find you all, and he says you all, but he doesn't look at Lahan. So fascinating. I'd like to spend some more time with you. How about I get us some vehicles and we go to the nearby Tickwood and we go on a little hunt.
What kind of a hunt?
What was that, Finn? I'm sorry.
What kind of a hunt?
Well, there's all sorts of creatures. The Tickwood is named for the primary thing that you can find in this wood. We call them, they're called ticks. I did a little bit of reading on the area. They're called ticks, but they're of monstrous proportions, as big as a herd animal, and quite aggressive and territorial. But they have a beautifully iridescent chitin, and their meat is said to be quite tasty, a delicacy even. Then there are some other quadrupedal herbivores and omnivores, and the occasional predator that is of the feline persuasion. And as he says that, he just kind of...
Yeah. Just. Yes.
Lahan will say telepathically to Jacinto, and then you know what, Finn too. You know, maybe he might die if he goes out there by himself.
I suppose. Huh.
And you say
I
that, and
suppose
then
you're
you
right.
think, Jenkins will be with him.
Okay, we're going.
Shank might die.
That was the only motivation that Jacinto needed, because believe it or not, Jacinto's not a hunting man himself.
No.
Yeah, I know, right? It's
No.
crazy. He's so good in battle. He's just, yeah, Jacinto will consider this and say, I suppose I could come along and watch at least.
Oh, that'd be lovely. You could ride with me.
Uh-huh.
Well,
All right.
Next
Lahan, you'll
phase.
come too, right? And Finn? Finn, you'll come too, right? Nice to meet you, by the way. I'm Jacinto.
what do you shake
hold
hands
on.
with? Tendril?
Yeah, you know, the tendril so the Elfans are weird because they give you the reach and one hand of somebody who has a 5-foot reach. So like the tendrils can go out pretty heckin' far actually. So yeah, he'll like extend some tendrils out from his head and say, "Hi, I'm Jacinto."
They sort of twist together into a vague hand shape.
Yeah, it's like 3 fingers.
Well, I suppose I can take a break from my investigating and come with you all. You are in need of some muscle. Looking around at the small statured ones.
Yeah, I am not muscly. This is a fact.
And as you all agree, Aldern is like, "Oh, that's lovely. I'll handle transportation, and I'll foot the bill for anything else we might need for this little hunt, but you're going to have to get it."
Oh. What
that sounds
did you
lovely.
have in mind?
I could probably use a...
I've never been on a hunt. I've heard they're quite exhilarating. So anything you think we might need for this little hunt, it's only a few hours away, but I don't know.
Oh gosh darn it, where's Ava when we need her?
Yeah,
Telepathically.
This was the wrong episode to not have Ava.
Well, you also have the option. It doesn't have to happen tomorrow. He's giving you time to make things ready.
Okay.
It will take a couple of days to gather everything we'll need, and we do know a great guide. Ava, you met her.
Oh yes, she was quite fierce, wasn't she? Throwing that shield all over the place and those little choppy things.
Hatchets.
Yes, well, no one knows the tick wood better than Ava does.
Oh, we must have
she
her
snuck
then.
off after the fight, so we'll have to track her down.
Oh yes, please do so.
I hate this guy.
I'm not going to the tickwood without Ava. I hate this guy too, but I love his dog, so
Excellent.
hunting will go. I guess.
I successfully made you hate him.
No, you definitely made him slimy.
Don't like him at all.
Yeah.
He's so slimy. He's such a creeper. Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And from there, unless there's anything, I feel like you probably have him aside a lovely dinner with each other.
Sure.
You know, Jenkins is there. The other three of you are not creepy and slimy. So, like, ignoring him, probably a lovely dinner.
Not
Amiko,
slimy. Moderately creepy.
Yeah, creepy, maybe a little slimy. Just not good. Amiko's appreciative of your intervention, Finn. She pulls out all the stops for dinner. That round was something pretty expensive. And eventually, probably after about an hour and a half, Aldern will excuse himself and he'll pointedly mention his room number as he heads upstairs.
Oh no.
Have a good night, Aldern. Thank you for dinner.
You
Good night.
have a lovely evening. And he'll sort of just glide up the stairs because he's a cat, and unless they're surprised by a cucumber, they're pretty graceful. And Jenkins says goodbye to you all and gives you doggy kisses, and then trundles after him.
Goodbye, Jenkins.
Once he's out of earshot, it's like, man, that guy's a sleaze.
How do you two know that guy?
Doggo.
So we saved his dog during the fight.
Well, he's cowered in a corner.
Yeah. So we sort of saved him. And he was super grateful for us saving him. Not so much for Jenkins. But yeah, I was getting some weird vibes off of that guy.
And you're just like your low level soundtrack now that he's gone is a lot more cheerful, a lot more relaxed.
Yeah, less like creepy strings playing in the background, and
So, Finn, You're not from around here. What brings you to Sandpoint?
Well, I'm actually from Magnamar. I was just in the area looking for someone.
Oh, and
Oh.
I beefed something up. I'm sorry. Finn,
Yes.
make a, let's just say, raw intelligence roll.
Okay. I don't got much of that, but I'll click it.
I'll roll you.
I'm not asking for a lot.
14.
Plenty enough. Of note, he mentions he's from Magnamar. His last name is Foxglove. Remember our little
Yeah.
talk?
Oh.
Okay, that's all I'm going to tell you. She made the connection.
I did.
That's
Left
all I
a look
need.
on her face, like, Now I'm curious. But anyway, you just said you were looking for someone.
Yes.
Ah,
Well, Han will say, "Oh, anyone in particular? Maybe I've seen them."
Well, I don't have a proper name for them, and they're probably keeping a low profile. And they're
that's exciting.
Also-
a mystery, huh?
also from my neck of the woods. They wouldn't be a local.
Well,
Oh.
I see a lot of comings and goings at the shipyard. Maybe one of my brothers saw something. I could always ask them.
Well, they would be involved with a cult who worships Lao Shu Po. If you've heard of anything.
Grandmother rat.
Yes.
Very interesting.
So if you know anybody in the area connected with that, that would be useful.
Are you hunting them down because they're in the cult, or are you hunting them down for the cult?
The former.
That's an awfully personal question.
Well, I mean, you don't just hear about Lao Shu Po any day. Lao Shu Po is a really, really evil goddess.
Well,
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of anybody here worshiping Lao Shu Po. Jet, could I make a culture, like a local, anything I've ever heard about it?
Culture. And I'm just going to say culture. Make that roll.
Just for local rumors, like I don't have mysticism, so like I don't know the ins and outs, the tenets,
Culture
but
is
you know,
very
maybe
appropriate.
it's a 16.
I'm just going to say you feel like you might have heard something, but you can't pinpoint anything specifically. It's a very difficult check.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And yeah, I mean Jacinto and Tom therefore knows a lot about Lao Shu Po, so I'm not gonna make a check for that. I mean, in character, it makes sense for a mystic to maybe know about the various deities,
Yeah,
but he's
as
not a
long
local, so
as long as they're prevalent. Like if it was some unknown deity, then like long forgotten. But yeah, I mean Lao Shu Po's out there, even if she's not out there. Yeah, you know what I mean. She's well known, but her business is not well known. Yeah.
Well, if there's anything we can do to help,
doing.
it's certainly more interesting than fixing the same beat up ships over and over again. Is that my doggo?
Yeah, she's just burying herself in my blankets, that's all.
Oh.
Little dog. Down.
been wandering around for a while.
Oh, that's too cute.
This has my doggo. She likes to bury. She's a terrier. She wants to be under things all the time.
Don't you mean a barrier?
No,
Exactly.
she was messing up my nicely made bed to bury herself under the one loose blanket.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I always had to make sure there was a blanket on the couch. Otherwise, she would get under the couch cushions. And I would come home and the couch cushions would be everywhere.
That's kind of like when I clean Pepper's cage and put down a nice puppy pad and put down fleece everywhere and like nice little things for her to burrow in. And she just rips it all up and burrows under the puppy pad and lays against the coroplast that lines the cage.
Wait,
Because
your dog's name is Pepper?
My Pepper is just a bigger version
both
of your
Peppers.
Pepper.
No, I have a hedgehog named Pepper.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Unintentional.
Yeah, no, and
Totally.
I didn't even think about it until it was too late. But
It was too late. That's okay. His is Dr. Pepper and mine is Pepper Potts. So.
yes.
Well, if you get another one, you can name it Salt.
Well, it's
We have
Iron
considered
Man.
this. There are albino hedgehogs out there. Maybe not albino. Maybe albino isn't the right. I don't know if that's like actually what they are, but there are white. There are white spined hedgehogs with
And that's kind of appropriate to your musical inclination.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were telling Finn that, or at least Lahan was telling Finn that if there's anything she could do to help,
Well, I'll definitely.
it would certainly be more interesting than fixing up the same old ships over and over again.
I bet you that does get boring after a while. I'll let you know if I need a local's guidance. I need to find some more information first, though. I don't have barely any leads. I just made it to town a few days ago.
How much do you know about Lao Shupo? Because I could probably help you with, I don't know, habits of Laoites? That's what they're called, Laoites.
I actually have a pretty decent knowledge of the cult. I just don't have a good knowledge of the specific member that I'm seeking at the moment.
Okay.
All I know is he goes by F.
F. Well,
I've
that rules out
actually-
the other 25 letters.
I've actually spent a good deal of time watching the cult of Lao Shu Pao and documenting their methods and such.
Okay.
I may not be too keen on
You ha-
many deities, but I do know this one.
I will say you've noted a shift in the cult's attitude recently, and some of their actions have started to get deviate from the norm.
Okay.
Well,
So, Jacinto, was it? What do you do?
I discern the purpose of the Song of the Spheres. I translate it to those who come to me and ask for advice. Like Lahan here, I actually told Lahan, I gave her some insight into her future, and I do it with the carnival that is in town. I have a stall.
Finn looks slightly confused. So you work for the carnival?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All of the discerning the song of the universe and things went over his head. He's not super
sure.
smart,
Yeah.
and he's not super wise.
That's fair.
I mean,
Yeah.
you yourself
Jacinto
do
does a
feel a
great
connection
job
to the
telling
universe.
fortunes.
I do. It's to stars in
but
the
it's a-
cosmos.
Solarians and the Song of the Spheres, they're actually in ways they're very similar, right? Because the Song of the Spheres is like the spheres, the stars, right? So like it's the planets and the stars and the heavenly bodies and stuff like that, all and how they're all connected. And then Solarians are like the balance between all of these stars and whatnot.
So Jacinto,
they
Definitely
interact
not a
different.
Jedi.
They interact differently though.
So Jacinto is maybe on the x-axis, and you're on the z-axis, with the center
Yeah.
point being the stars, the cosmos.
Yeah. Yeah, and what we do with that is very different as well, right? Like Solarians are they use it to sort of fuel themselves in combat, largely, and also being very diplomatic and stuff. But then you see that connected to the Mellophile, the Song of the Spheres, and they're sort of using it to intuit relationships and manipulate people, perhaps. But yeah, this has been game theory with Tom.
And I feel like over the course of this night, this conversation, your personal soundtrack that you're hearing is sort of shifted, and you're sort of starting to feel the song coming from Lahan and the song coming from Finn, and it's harmonizing with yours. And while all this is happening, Rakkus has been sitting here, and Rakkus has been doing his own thing, and Rakkus has kind of been wandered off and probably been schmoozing and getting shit faced in the corner. I feel
Uh,
like they probably hit the alcohol pretty hard.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Um, hmm. So Jacinto is just thinking to himself, I should probably stick around these two. This could be interesting. See what happens.
What's going on
And
here?
huh?
You do feel like there's a missing bit of harmony from from this composition that's happening though. And you're not
Almost like
feeling
a
it
dead
like
leaf.
and like there's a certain connection that you have with your sibling that you've always felt, but it's different than this harmony that's going on with these two other individuals.
Okay.
Like it doesn't feel like you're necessarily on the same path at this point. Something is
Right.
happening.
Okay. This makes Jacinto a bit sad. He's you know, he loves his brother and all that, but understands if the will of the universe is telling him that they need to split for now. He'll probably have that conversation with Rakkus tonight then.
And while this conversation after Eldrin's left's carried on, Miko comes over and she's like, "Man, I just want to thank you so much for standing up for me. I could have dealt with the old man, but it would have been a lot more noisy and a lot more awful. You guys have rooms here for the rest of the week. All of you. On me.
Can thank you so much. Can my room be really far away from Aldern's?
Oh, that's already done.
Thank you.
Like she can read
Miko,
people.
it'd be cool to get away from my brothers for a while.
Yeah, you have a room here if you want.
Thank you so much. That's incredibly hospitable of you.
I mean, it was lovely what you did. You chased away that ugly, angry old man.
I just don't
who's
like
been-
to.
done nothing but be awful to me and my brother our entire lives.
I just don't like seeing other people stepped on.
I'm so
He
sorry
likes to do the stepping. And Lahan, you've heard of her brother. You've never met her brother. And you know that there's some pretty unpleasant rumors going around. Not necessarily that the brother was awful, but the situation with the brother and the rest of the family was pretty awful.
So Jacinto's going to wander right into that pitfall and say, "So what does your brother do?" Just because he's genuinely
Good
curious.
point.
Like there's a lot of kerfuffle around her brother now.
We've kind of lost touch. Last I knew, he sort of headed off towards Magnamar Station. Not long after that, I mean, I went and did my traveling. Haven't been able to reconnect since.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I miss him.
We're back. We should kick him off the council. I wish they let me vote.
Well,
Has
someday
Lahan not
I'm
achieved majority?
Hmm?
Has Lahan not
Doesn't,
achieved like, majority?
When I ran this, we played it as the 5 like founding families had like a council and they picked the mayor.
Well, I think the
come
founders
to think of it, I
have
don't
a
know
great deal of sway, but ultimately the town decides who the mayor is, and they probably, like I said, vote certain ways depending on which family they're aligned with, and then there's some people that are just neutral.
Yeah.
Jacinto will respond to is it Mariko?
Amico.
Amico.
I'm sorry. He'll say, well, I'm sure that someday your paths will reunite. It's the way of things. We orbit away from each other and then we come back. It's if the connection is strong enough, nothing will stop your brother from returning to you someday.
That is such a lovely thought. I very much hope that happens. Miss him a great
I do as
deal.
well. Yeah.
I mean, we could just like knock your father out and put him on the next boat out, Amico. Maybe then your brother will come home. I mean,
That'd be very
we can't. Nope, that's a bad idea.
Very satisfying, but I mean, you could just buy a ship and come back.
That's the problem.
Probably true. I mean, we could just keep knocking him out. I'm sure Bella would be okay with this.
She genuinely laughed at that.
Just knock him out every time he comes back. Put him on a ship out.
Genuinely laughs, like a belly laugh at that thought.
Hmm.
And the rest of the evening's pretty pleasant. Like, if there's some more talking that you want to do amongst yourselves, feel free. Or we can fast forward it to the next morning.
Happy to go to the next one.
I'm a fan of next morning.
Next morning sounds good.
All right. What would you like to be doing the next morning after you wake up? What time would you all wake up?
Oh,
tell us a little bit about your morning.
Before bed, Lahan definitely texts her dad. Dad, I'm staying in town at the Rusty Dragon. Amiko's offered me a place to stay for the night, so I won't be home. So that her brothers don't come looking for her.
Mhm.
Just text the family group chat.
Family group chat. Your dad probably
All
is
five
like
of her
a
brothers know.
thumbs up emoji, and then your brothers probably just have that indicator that they've seen it and they don't respond.
Left her on red.
Yeah. Is your mother a part of this? Because we know your father exists. We know your brothers exist. You've mentioned all those. Is your mother part of the picture?
I don't think so. I think it's just her and her brothers. We'll go with classic, Disney route. Mother's been dead for years.
Finn's
Explains
backstory
why,
is the opposite.
she has no good. She latched onto Amiko so much, she has no good role models in her family. It gives her a good reason to have that strong bond with Amiko.
Mm-hmm.
So before you,
They both lost their mothers young.
Before you go to sleep, group chat. Jacinto, are you doing anything before bed? You did mention you wanted to talk to your brother.
Yeah. So, Jacinto, I don't know if you want to chat it
I
out,
don't feel
but
comfortable stepping into that role, but you could just give me the general outline of what the conversation may be, sort of.
Yeah. So Jacinto, a lot of his personality is in. So you would think, rather, let me start from this way, from this angle. You would think that because he's a carny and he's a fortune teller and stuff like that, that a lot of what he says is kind of just BS and fluff and stuff like that. But he actually does truly believe a lot of what he says and what he spouts and stuff like that, and what he says to people. So with that in mind, he genuinely talks to his brother about how he feels that the song is sort of encouraging him to diverge right now, and that he thinks that this isn't goodbye forever, but that he has a part to play in this symphony, if you will, that is building up, that is crescendoing around these people that he has met. So,
and I mean, Raucus is your brother or your sibling. I can't remember if they ever said one way or the other.
I think he's brother.
So they're your brother. They've been with you through thick and thin through all this. They know what you believe. They've seen enough to maybe believe a little bit themselves, even if they can't experience what you experience. And they're like, well, they tell you that they'll always be there for you. They're not in a hurry to join back up with the rest of the carnival, and that they're going to stick around in the area, and they're going to maybe find some work to do.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. All right, so I'll know where to find him then.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be around town, and you guys have each other's comm codes. You can call each other since you're on you'll be on a local network, a planetary network.
Yeah, easy enough. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm sure we're not going anywhere else.
No, why would we leave?
No. And then after that, Jacinto would go to his room, and he would lock the door. What's his name? Alder. It's big, yeah. So he like just like reaches up to the door handle with his little L-fan network, and makes sure that it's locked, and then makes sure that Artania has a nice little spot in. Artania actually is going to climb up onto the bed and like sleep at Jacinto's feet.
I mean that's what
You
gotta
just
be
take,
one of the
like, a
greatest
whole
things
pillow
about
and
being
make that
a foot tall is if you have a normal medium-sized creature's bed, you have so much room.
Oh yeah, there's so much room for activities.
A medium-sized pillow and like make that your bed on top
That
of the
is the
regular
bed. Yeah. 2 pillows, forget about it. Artania and I are living the dream right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, just sort of neatly fold robes, get into tiny little pajamas, and
And Finn?
Yes.
Sorry, go. I didn't mean to cut you off, Tom.
Nope. I was just gonna say, and curl up on a pillow.
Sorry about that.
No,
And
no,
Finn,
not at all.
What did the rest of your evening look like then? When you guys parted ways to go up to your rooms?
The rest of Finn's evening is probably going to be pretty uneventful. He is definitely grateful for having free room for the week because he is pretty poor. Solves his problem of where he's going to sleep. So I probably end up just going back up to my room, washing up, getting comfortable, and being grateful that I've got a bed for the night.
Nice. And I think that's a good point to take a break.
All right.
Back, everybody. Let's get back into it. We're going to start the following morning after everyone had a lovely sleep. Jacinto having a lovely music-filled sleep because that's their life, and I don't know why, but I love the mellophile and I want to stress it.
I love it as well. I'm so into this. It fills me with great joy, as I'm sure it does Jacinto.
All right, so let's talk about your mornings. Like, you guys didn't coordinate when you're waking up. Like, Nick, how late does Lahan sleep this after having a glorious evening talking with possibly 2 new friends after you got away from that sleazeball?
With no brothers to wake her up at the crack of dawn? As late as she possibly. Just reveling in the fact that she has this giant bed and no brothers around. And no reason that no one's gonna wake her up. So she's gonna sleep in. As best she can, and then when she does wake up, she'll meander downstairs. So if one of these 2 wants to be an early riser, I'll let them go first.
Well, Finn's definitely going to wake up early. I'll wake up early and I'm going to see if our creepy cat man is already awake or not.
You don't see him out there.
And does it look like he's in his room or no? Like if I look at his door, is the lights on under the door? Because he told us his room number.
No. Yeah, he did. He definitely told you and Jacinto the room number. The lights are off and there's a do not disturb sign on it.
I'm gonna go down and have breakfast.
Alright, so you walk downstairs and Berthana, the very graceful hobgoblin woman, is serving a fair number of people breakfast. And a lot of the people that were like the regulars that were there last night, they see you and they actually sort of like raise a coffee mug or raise an orange juice to you because they recognize you from when you stood up for Amiko. And Amiko has a special place in this town's heart. And, you know, if you find a table, Berthana, you know, she comes on over, asks if you'd like what you'd like to drink, what you'd like to eat, takes that order, and she says it'll be right up.
Excellent. I was gonna take whatever standard. Finn is also not used to being treated like a hero, so that's weird to him that everyone's raising their cups.
Uh, would Jacinto be an early riser? Would they rise with the sun?
I don't know. Yes, I think they. I think he would be.
I think that maybe there's a swell of music as the sun rises.
Yeah, some days he's able to ignore it, in favor of sleep. Other days, his mind is just too active. Yeah, he'll roll over, and scritch Artania behind one of their mandibles, and will get up and go downstairs.
They try and drag that out. They want to nuzzle into you.
Yeah. Jacinto will, get his other twig and go to both sides of the mandibles and get nice dig in with the scratch. And then we'll say,
Thanks for the follow time flip.
come on, I'm hungry. And he'll head downstairs, Artania in tow.
So when you go downstairs, you probably arrive maybe shortly after Finn. You see Finn at a table, probably coffee or juice in hand. Coffee in hand, and I'm assuming a fairly substantial breakfast.
Jacinto will, he'll plop down next to Finn and say, "Morning, Finn."
Good morning, Jacinto. I assume you sleep? Did you sleep well?
Yeah, I sleep. Got some good sleep. And yourself?
Pretty peacefully, actually. The beds here are extremely comfortable. Much better
Man,
than
they're
sleeping
so
on the road.
Big. Oh yeah, I'll bet. No, the pillow was enough for me actually. It was very very comfy. Must have been like goose down or something, space goose. And he'll wave over Amico. Could I just get a big glass of orange juice and one egg, please?
Anything for your companion?
Yeah, they'll also have one egg, please.
Okay, so they're right up. Orange juice right away. It's 2 eggs, so that's quick. The one they bring that is it Artania?
Artania.
Artania, sorry. The
That's
one they bring Artania, sunny side up. They see the egg, and I feel like they puncture it with their pedipalps, and they just start draining the yolk.
Yeah, that tracks. Artania's table manners aren't great, but it's okay. I think it's not. He's only very small. And then
finishes it relatively quickly, and then there's just like the yolk and their psychedelic color shifting fuzz, and their big spider eyes. And they're just sort of looking at you and sort of moving with the flow of the soundtrack that only you and they can hear.
Excellent. Jacinto will set to work on his own egg. He probably only finishes like half of it. That's a lot of egg for a little plant boy.
You are diminutive.
Yeah. No, I'm tiny. Artania's diminutive. So, tiny's like
You're
what?
tiny.
2 feet,
So you're like,
Tiny is like a foot.
and then diminutive
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
6 to 12 inches or something like that. I don't know.
I think
So-
4 dog size.
6
and
Jacintos make a
4
Finn.
spiders. Cats.
Yeah.
You're pretty small.
I'm
I
very
always thought
small.
Tiny was like a foot tall, and diminutive was like 6 inches to like a couple inches.
My
That
one
could be it. Maybe Tiny's cats.
one of my
I don't know how to chart.
I play oh gosh, what's the name? The Stellifera. I play a cuttlefish, a psychokinetic cuttlefish in Society Play, and he's diminutive as well. So it's fun being small characters, especially when you're tall in real life. It's like a whole new perspective.
That's why I like to play tall characters. Han's pretty small.
I almost never play bigger than medium size.
I really liked Mo, my Dragonkin soldier.
I'm just too used to being a tall human and the inconveniences that are involved a lot of times.
Oh, I never feel inconvenienced by being tall. I don't know.
Take a public train.
Okay. Yes, yeah, I don't have to take public trains, so that's yeah.
Right, so you guys
so
are
Han will be the last.
Yep.
Sorry, Jet. Just steal your thunder.
I mean, you're another GM, and I think we have a lot of the same instincts. So you're jumping in right when I was going to try and get you to jump in.
It's true. Yeah. So Lahan's the last one down. She's hasn't bothered to brush her hair because she didn't bring a hairbrush. She's like sort of piled it all into a bun on the top of her head.
Using a wrench.
A wrench might be hard to do it with, but maybe a zip stick, like a long one, like stuck through there.
I'm almost picturing like you doing a bun and then just sticking a wrench through it instead of the chopstick look.
Yeah, but a wrench would be too heavy. It looks like
yeah,
it
wouldn't stay
like
this all day.
Ball adjustable.
It would wrench. It would just fall out. It would just fall out, man.
See, Jet doesn't have enough hair.
See, there's magic.
See, Jet, we don't have long hair, so like.
Maybe I just took a wire and like wrapped it around it, and cinched it. Just like dead eyes, like a zombie sits down with these guys.
To that table. Before you get to that table, Berthana has already brought over not a coffee cup, but one of those soup bowls with the finger ring. Bowl of coffee. Black coffee, probably, I imagine. To the brim. Like 1 millimeter from this is when it spills out.
Oh,
and she's
God.
so
Just
good.
sort
She
of-
can just...
Yep, doesn't even try and pick it up, just like sips enough off the top so that it can be picked up, and then like both hands.
Mm.
Morning.
Good morning, Lehan. Did you sleep well?
Oh, so well.
Huh. It's just that it doesn't look like you slept well. Are you feeling okay?
Some people just
Oh,
aren't
well.
morning people.
After coffee.
I've never liked coffee myself. I got too jittery.
So what do the two of you have
Lahan
planned for the
sips her
day?
coffee, saying few words until after at least the first cup.
So what do the two of you have planned for today, besides finding hunting supplies?
I don't know. I'll probably wander around town, take in some of the sights, perhaps. I don't know. Lahan, what is there to do around this town if you're looking to kill time?
Well, not much. Sidedrag might have a show on. There's some cool shops, I guess. We can watch the ships coming and going. That's always fun.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I was thinking we could take advantage of Foxglove's money to get ourselves some good ranged weapons for the fight. I don't know how well the either of you is equipped, but definitely could use something like a bow or a side shooter.
Oh, that sounds like
Yeah, for sure. There's a couple of shops in town we could go to eye some new gear for sure.
And if Foxglove's offering to pay, it seems like a good idea.
I'm not very good with pistols. Typically, I just sort of use magic, and I take and he'll like lift up a piece. He'll lift up a fork and he'll like sort of throw it at the wall behind the counter telekinetically, and he'll be like, I just sort of do this. And so I don't really use pistols or anything like that. Never had much need to. But I'll watch you all buy pistols.
Well, perhaps we could get you some better armor, Jacinto, to keep you safe. There are large animals in the thickwood, and I would not want you to get eaten.
Yeah, I wouldn't want me to get eaten either. Okay, yeah. New armor might be nice. I just have this second skin that I've been carrying around for a while.
So points of interest. Also, there's Sava's Armory. That's just like a generic place where they sell armor, weapons. If you want something more custom, there is well, they refer to themselves as a smith, much like a gunsmith or an old school smith. But they make all sorts of things. That's more custom work, more expensive, and takes time. Need to reorganize my location notes because finding things that are not alphabetical is annoying because they did.
Oh.
We lost your volume for a second, Jet.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah.
Your volume just sort of like faded for a
Yeah.
second. Now you're back. We can hear you, but
Where did I cut out entirely? Do you need me to re-say anything?
Looking at things that aren't alphabetical is hard.
Yeah, they numbered things, but they didn't make things alphabetical and numerically ordered. So it's the Red Dog Smithy is where you can get some custom work. You might be able to buy something off the shelf, maybe. Sava's, you're definitely going to be able to just walk in and find something, but it's not going to be particularly special. And then points of interest. There's a local sage. They've basically got a massive library. There's the House of Blue Stones. Like Lahan would know this. There's the House of Blue Stones. It's the town's original shrine to Talavet. There's now one in the cathedral, but this was where originally the primary source of Talavet worship was in town. There's a young woman that's taken over caretakership of it, and it has a fairly extensive library on all things mystic.
That sounds much more my speed.
And then there's Reese's place. She's just an old lady that's owned an inn for 30 years, and she has all sorts of tales to tell. And Madame Mavashti, if I remember correctly, she's sort of oracle. She can see possibilities in the universe that others can't see.
That also sounds
But I
very
mean, you
interesting
do
to me.
know that your friend Jacinto is a mystic. They've admitted as much, so that's points of interest for them. You don't have to visit any of them, just throwing that stuff out there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, press the things Lahan can come up with for you guys.
Could you repeat that? You cut out a little bit.
Oh, I said if pressed, these are, things Lahan could regurgitate for in-character reasons.
Okay. Yeah. I'll try and think of if I need any spell gems or anything like that. I have a few tucked away for emergencies. But yeah. Where do you want to start?
It's up to you guys. Finn, is there anything in particular you want to hit?
Well, I was just thinking weapons and equipment in general would be a good idea. Honestly, I don't know too much about hunting and what's reasonable for hunting these types of animals.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think we need to find Ava, honestly, before we get too far into buying anything to go out there. Ava's probably going to want things too.
Also, Foxglove himself doesn't sit quite right with me, and I would like to keep an eye on him.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that was creeped out by him.
Yeah, he does seem like a creeper.
More than that, I'm not sure what yet, but
Weird. Well, trying to think of what I need to. I don't really have anything. We could just go wandering around, see what strikes our fancy. Maybe we'll run into
Sure.
Ava.
that sounds like as
Yeah, we'll
good of a
keep an
plan
eye
as
out.
any.
Well, she hasn't bounced.
All right.
All right.
So you want to just go kind of wandering, take in the sights, Lahan? Do you want to be a tour guide?
Yeah, Wuhan will play tour guide for the day. She's lived here all her life, so she'll take him to whatever's closest to the Rusty Dragon. Can we maybe have the Sandpoint map?
Yes. Let's bring the Sandpoint map up.
Let me find that for you.
Should be changing your view
Perfect.
now. And the Rusty Dragon.
Ah, yes, I remember this map.
Yes, our Sandpoint map.
I'm gonna have to go through and put all these in alphabetically because it's driving me crazy.
She'll reorder the journal based on the.
Oh,
Would be more
gosh.
useful that way for sure. The Rusty Dragon is 37, so it's down here on Market Street. It looks like.
That's the Rusty Dragon.
Excellent.
So
So-
it looks like nearby.
Got the boutique, Sandpoint Boutique.
Mm-hmm.
Come
Yeah.
here.
Goblin Squash vehicle sales at 38.
What a oh gosh, an evocative name. That's the word I was looking for.
Number 40 is the Sandpoint Mercantile Building. Mercantile League
The
building.
docks that we own are right over there. The fish market out front.
What's the Pixies Kitten?
That sounds lewd.
Oh, I
Can't
see
be
what
ship
it
for
is.
hire.
There you go. I'm showing it to players right now. Maybe it'll pop up for you.
It does, but it's
Yeah,
awful
no,
small.
I opened it. I guess I should have known.
Nope, that doesn't make it bigger.
Dear listeners of the eventual podcast version of this, the Pixies Kitten is a colorful establishment. The description of it mentions that prostitution isn't illegal in Sandpoint.
People
And
can go
you
there
draw
for
your-
comfort.
Yes.
And
You
a ship
draw
for
your own
hire.
conclusions.
Very Firefly.
But yes, if we want to head up towards the smithy, we can go through the market square there. Is it a market day?
Do you
Jen?
want it to be a market day? It could be a market day. I'm letting you have a lot of free reign here. You can sort of set the scene, describe some sights if you want.
Sure,
This
yeah,
is
I'll
your
take them
hometown.
through the market. It'll be a market day since most days are. The fish market's sort of off to our left. One or two of Lahan's brothers might yell out at her as she goes by. She sort of waves at them and will stay over there, please.
Well, then describe your
in
brothers.
front of my friend. So I'll say that the two that are actively working the fish market are a couple of her younger brothers. So they sort of look like her. Her hair is blue. At least one of them also has blue curly hair. And antennas like her. The markings on their faces are similar. With those markings that come in over their nose, sort of like freckles. And And like I said, they sort of like wave to her and they give you guys the side eye, especially Finn probably, because just Jacinto doesn't look very threatening. Finn is kind of big and threatening looking, and they're like, "Who the heck is this guy with our baby sister?" You know, like older brothers do.
You said they were younger.
No, they're of the younger of the brothers was what I meant.
Okay. Okay.
Han is the baby.
Okay.
So he's got 5 older brothers who all are overprotective. But when she waves them off, they sort of laugh to themselves and go back to what they were doing. The market is bustling with activity. There's, people going about their daily shopping, stalls for everything under the sun. If these guys want to stop and browse anything at all, Lahan might point out some local favorites along the way.
Yeah, Jacinto will, I guess he'll look at like if there are any flower shops nearby, he'll sort of admire.
I'm sure that there's a flower shop.
Yeah, like
yeah.
flower
Or
stalls
just
or
flower
anything at the market. Yeah.
Before we get into that, though, I think we need to thank Ghost of the Network because they redeemed a burger break.
Thank you, Ghost.
Oh yes, I don't think the characters quite need a burger break yet, Ghost. We just got up.
I think,
but soon.
I think he bought it as almost as a goof because he stepped out for a burger and was gone longer than he expected. Thank you for the +1.
Oh, yep, Ghost had one. Nice personal burger break.
Yeah,
We've got 2
Now
+1s,
what a
I believe.
we do have 2 +1s.
We do?
We gotta roll a die so we can add things to them.
Yeah, I imagine there's definitely flowers.
Yeah, there's definitely a flower store. It's probably like this thin skeletal framework of a shimmery metal, and then there's like it's much like a greenhouse, but like this glass is so clear. It's so clear. It's only people that are locals that are very familiar that know to avoid certain areas because they might just straight up walk into it. But then every once in a while, like the clouds will part because again, this is a very rainy moon that's been established, and the sun will just reflect off it, and it's like a freaking diamond, and it's gorgeous, just glittering in the sun.
Jacinto is properly awestruck by this.
And there's like all sorts of vining vegetation, like growing up this that metallic skeletal structure on the inside, growing up and over, and blossoms hanging down. Mm-hmm. It's probably pretty gorgeous.
Yeah. Wow, this is how many greenhouses like this do you have? This is incredible.
Oh, well, I mean, this one's just sort of a pop-up. I imagine there's more other places on the moon. Probably out in the country where they grow all these flowers.
Wow. This is really cool. Beautiful.
I don't usually stop to look at it anymore, but you're right. Oh, Finn, if you wanted to ask around about the person you're looking for, the market would probably be a good place to do it.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Everybody sort of congregates here, especially in the mornings.
What kind of a role would you like if I went and wandered around and talked to people?
Like a class to gather information.
Yeah. Gather information, which would be
diplomacy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say that or culture for your ability to meld with a new society on the fly, but diplomacy.
Diplomacy is better for me anyway.
Solarians.
Oh, terrible. Wait, how did that happen?
Oh, no.
How did I get Did I roll a 1? I did.
It's not...
You rolled a 1.
There's a 1 indeed.
Yeah.
I was like, how is it so
low? And then technically it's 1d4 hours to do that. Wander around and ask people questions.
That's fine.
Well, we're not in a hurry today.
While you as a group are wandering around, let's roll a d4. For 3 hours, you guys are just browsing the market for 3 hours, and while all that's going on, Finn is trying to get information out of people and is instead telling their life story. Like they're like, I need information. I need to ingratiate myself to these locals. And then instead of like actually listening to what they have to say, because they very well might have had information for you, you were just sort of like blathering your life story at them.
That
As long as
works.
that's cool. I just think it's funny because I mean that's the one.
Either that or people just find me very disconcerting.
Yeah, that could be it too. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Han's brothers told him not to tell you anything.
I like that answer better. We're gonna go
Don't
with that
talk
one.
to that guy.
Hans-
We don't like it.
we don't know anything
Han's
about
brother
him yet. Give him the
sabotaging
cold
it.
shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, Jacinto would probably want to help you out, by aiding. I don't know if mechanically it's going to make a difference for a nat 1.
Not.
No, yeah. So,
No.
just know that Jacinto is there to help. He tries.
We awkward together. It's fine.
Yeah.
And towards
Yeah.
the end of this 3 hours, actually, first in the midst of that, a Demaya Lashunta woman runs up out of a. She was doing a delivery. She's the baker. I believe her name is Alma Averton, and she owns the local bakery. And she was doing the delivery. She runs up. She's like, "Oh, you poor thing. You're so skinny and so brave." And she gives you like a fresh baked loaf of bread. Like you, Jacinto, like a full-size loaf of bread. And then like, she's like, "Oh, hi, Luhan. You were so brave yesterday too." And she gives you like a pastry of some sort. And she's like, "I don't know you, but you're with them and I don't want to be rude. So here, you can have this." And she just kind of disappears off into the crowd.
My pantomiming alarmed Sarah behind the curtain. Oh yeah, no, she was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Oh yeah, no, sorry, it was a bit. It was a dumb bit." Jacinto struggles under the weight of the loaf of bread.
Do you need help with that?
Thank you. Oh yeah, please.
I
That
should
would be
take
great.
the bread
Thanks.
from you. Do you want it right now, or should I store it?
Han shoves her pastry in her face. Like the whole thing.
I mean, she knows you, so she gave you a pastry. I mean, come on.
You can, if you would hold on to it, that would be great. I'll take a little bit right now to see how it is.
So Finn rips off a small, appropriate-sized piece for a small plant man and gives it to Jacinto, and then puts the rest in his backpack.
Thank you
It's
very
delicious.
much.
It's
Oh, this is so
absolutely
good.
delicious.
Yeah.
You know, then you're gonna wander, and Finn's gonna fail to schmooze because they've been, given the shaft
Sabotage.
by Lahan's brothers. Yep, sabotage.
It happens. Everybody's
And-
got off days.
Yep.
And around the 3-hour mark, a woman dragging a child, like not dragging, but like pulling a child in a very urgent manner, runs up to you, out of breath, sweating, alarmed. And she's like, "Help! Help! I need help! There's something." Actually, she's holding a baby and dragging a toddler. "Help! There's something! There's in the house! My husband, he's had to deal with it. It said there's a monster under his bed. I need help! Please! Please!"
Okay. Shall we?
You're
Let's
such
go.
brave heroes!
Where's your
You saved
house?
the town. And she will breathlessly lead you towards her house. And between gasps, she's going to, sort of inform you that her toddler, her son, has been having night terrors and talking about monsters under the bed. And her and her husband have just dismissed it because,
Toddlers.
toddlers. But not too long ago, son was playing in the room. They heard a scream. They heard the dog screaming, and the husband ran into the room, and there was a goblin trying to drag the child into the closet.
Oh.
And the husband got the son away from the goblin, and he told them to run and get help. And in her desperate need, like, she fled, and you were the first people that she saw, and she knows that you're heroes. You've helped save the town.
Oh. Well, then, of course...
Don't worry. We'll deal with the goblin.
Yeah.
Rifle.
All right.
It's a sonic rifle, I think. I don't think it cocks that way. Oh no, it's a numbing beam. It's a cold weapon.
Then it definitely
charges it up.
It definitely cocks like that because it's so cold. You have to break the rhyme off of it.
Well, I mean, it's designed for in Lahan's case, you know, dealing with people who try and run at the docks. Smugglers and stuff. Take them alive for the sheriff, you know.
Of course.
And we should probably decide what species this woman and her children are. And I'm just going to put in a random stand-in for a thing.
I'm going to carry Simon's banner and say uplifted bear.
Stellafera!
Oh no, Stellafera is almost worse.
I kind of like that idea though, because it's so silly.
Please help me. There's a goblin in my house. I love Stellafera.
Could also be a
I'm
Sokies.
down with Stellafera if you guys are.
All right, let's do it. They got their weird hydro bodies. And...
So can somebody describe what those are? Because I don't know what those are.
Imagine a cuttlefish, the little tentacled fish, like blobs. They're like mini octopus, right?
Okay.
Mini octopus.
Oh, I saw those in the book. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. Except they can form they're diminutive creatures normally. They can form a medium-sized hydro body as a standard action, and like they interact with the world as a medium creature while in their hydro body.
Fun.
So it's like, yeah. Somebody else described them as something from Futurama. I don't watch Futurama, but apparently there are people almost exactly like that.
Oh, the water guys.
Yeah, the water guys.
Yeah, and Fry Drink's one of them.
All right.
Are you guys seeing the new map?
I am seeing the new map. I
Yes,
see
we
a
are.
person here. I will bring Jacinto out. Look at us and our matching tokens. Thanks, Nick.
They are lovely.
Welcome.
This
I have a thing about matching tokens, you know.
You do. And we all benefit from it.
So she brings you up to the house, and she's like, I'm going to stay out here with the children. Could you please just go in and help my husband? The last time I saw him, he was just furiously trying to rip the closet apart. He wanted to get at that beast.
Okay. Strange question. Did the creature seem to have a pistol?
I didn't see. I didn't hear anything.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. I figured I'd ask.
Just heard the dog and the child screaming.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. You stay out here. Keep your kids safe. And we'll take care of this. I promise. And we go in.
Go in. You can move your tokens.
Yeah.
You should have ownership of them.
I want to take the lead.
Please do.
And I am also going to grab my stellar mote in my hand and turn it into a gauntlet as I am leading the way. It is a void gauntlet.
Cool.
What does a void gauntlet look like?
Pretty much looks like my hand is entrenched in darkness, so it's like a gauntlet, but it sucks light into it instead of being bright.
So, kind of like a hand or forearm shaped absence of light.
Yeah, where my right hand would be.
What do you want to say?
Nick,
Keep going this way.
Okay, so these little brown things, that's a door. That's a door. I didn't delete them. There was a door right here next to... That's a door.
Okay.
I forgot to click. That's a door. That's a door.
Mm-hmm.
Do we hear anything inside the house?
No.
No?
Weird.
It's silent.
Hmm. Do I have a thing
All right.
for this?
Well, let's look for the bedroom, I suppose, right?
Yep,
It was
she
in
said.
the kid's bedroom.
So,
The rest of the house appears to be undisturbed. Like you're not seeing anything really out of order.
we've got a door right here. I'll slam this door open. I'm gonna
You slam that
kick
door
it open.
and I've got that token there. Yeah, you totally can kick it open. You see that token right there. What that's representing is the bottom half of presumably the husband sticking out of the closet. Still.
I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna try to pull
Lahan
him out of the
is
closet.
gonna run up there.
What was that, Lapis?
I'll let Lahan do her thing first.
And roll a medicine check on this guy's condition.
You definitely do that medicine check. But you see that the top half of their body is wedged through the floor of the closet.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And you definitely, with that check, you're like, this person is dead. D-E-D,
Oh.
dead.
Oh no.
From a goblin? All
Well,
right.
someone's going to have to break this to the
Lahan
widow.
starts to gently try to pull him out. Finn, could you give me a hand?
Yes. Help her pull the body out gently. Do you want any rolls? Or can I just do that? I've got decent strength.
You guys can definitely pull the body out. And as you do, a couple things are going to happen. I need to generate a token. And we're going to need to roll initiative.
Lapis, I'm sorry.
got
The
it.
father handout is blocking
I
where we are
fixed
on
it.
the map. Oh, I see.
I've got 2 Roll20 windows open.
Hmm.
And I just looked at the other one.
All right.
Lapis was kind enough to volunteer to run our stream for us, so this is her first venture into running things on Twitch. So
I'm not the
I think
smoothest
she's
at it yet.
doing a wonderful job.
it's true. It's true. There's a definite learning curve.
Mm.
So initiatives.
So let's do our initiatives.
Yes, Ghost. It was clerical censoring.
Jesus, again?
This grisly scene. Oh, Finn.
Oh,
Well, I'm not much better. Wow, we all rolled pretty
we
well,
do
actually.
have
I can't even
3
banish
plus
my
1.
dice. It's alright.
And we can stack those. The rules are up to 3 times. Don't know how much it's gonna help
Nah.
Nah.
either of you.
It'd be better
Not at all.
for like an actual hit roll. Being slow in the initiative combat order is not a big deal.
Yeah. I've learned in Pathfinder 2 to actually appreciate going slowly in initiative, because as a small barbarian, it is better to have the enemies come to me so I can punch them more than it is to spend my entire turn running up to
We've
them.
got our initiative. And I'm going to describe a couple things. You pull, and you pull. And, you don't need to make a roll for this. It's going to happen. There's a couple of you that have the strength to pull this off. And the body eventually, is released and slumps down onto... And you can see that the musculature, the flesh from the face is removed. It doesn't look like it was cut away. It looks like it was gnawed off.
Oh, God.
And as that happens, you hear an indignant scream of feral rage, and a goblin comes flying out of that closet. I'm going to get rid of the guy's body just because it's in the way for us to position ourselves. And I know this can't be a very tactical fight because of this nature of this the scenario, but
It's a
he's
kid's
in the
bedroom,
way.
man.
Yeah, it's a kid's bedroom.
Kids' bedrooms are not designed for combat encounters. What can we say?
So they're gonna go away.
Not a place a combat encounter should happen.
Before we actually start anything, move your token where it would be for pulling the body out.
Right where I am.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much where Lahan would be. She's pulling from.
Would Finn be closer?
Well, he was sitting in that one, but yeah, I'll be right there.
Well, I thought you were assisted in the pulling.
I was,
wasn't
but
sure.
the body was in that square before you hit it.
Yeah. That, again, the limitations of the medium.
But point of order.
Yeah.
Everybody's
yes.
got these green, blue, red. What are the green and blue over numbers?
So top is stamina, middle is resolve, and bottom is health.
Cool. I'm going to fill those in correctly then.
Yeah.
The easiest way is to click so you get the bubbles.
Oh, no, I got it. I just wanted to know what went where.
HP in the red. Yeah. And then a double click to fill in the second box with your total number so that the bars pop up. Yeah, I imagine Lahan set her rifle down to pull the body out. It's gonna mess me up.
All right,
That's
and so
fair.
what's gonna happen first is I've got the initiative. A screaming goblin flies out of that hole, like parkouring like a spider monkey, and hurls themselves. I'm gonna say, unfortunately, at Lahan, because one, she doesn't have a weapon in her hand, and two, she was right up on that dead body. She's significantly less scary than Finn. I mean, it's a goblin.
Yeah. By intention.
And
Goblins as cowards, man.
yep. And he's going to slash at you with what can generously be called a dog slicer, because it's obviously like been improvised as a weapon even more so than a normal dog slicer.
Rude.
Rude. I am 100% certain that a 21 hits you.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it does.
Heck.
This is a very dangerous individual. 12 damage.
Dang.
Ow! That is all my hit points.
That's wow.
That's a dangerous goblin.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's a really dangerous goblin. All right. Ow. Lahan hurting bad. I'm next though, right?
Didn't you do that backwards on your bars?
No, green is my stamina, blue is my RP.
So stamina would
Red
go
is
first,
my-
then into hit points.
You're right. Stamina goes first. I'm being a dumb. So and then I'll add 5 over here. Wait, 5. This was a 10. I took 5 out of 12.
So you have 3 hit points left.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And it is Lahan's turn to respond.
I'm gonna grab my rifle, and I'm gonna 5-foot step back to this square over by Jacinto, and that's it. That's all I got.
I mean,
I'm not gonna take an attack of opportunity from that goblin. Not with 3 hit points. Nope.
Jacinto.
All right. Jacinto is going to panickedly look between the goblin and Lehan, who just got the ever-loving crap sliced out of her, I guess. And
right?
She has a pretty jagged slash right across her torso that's bleeding pretty heavily.
Yeah. Jacinto's going to reach over and say, "It's okay, Lehan. We're gonna get through this." And you feel Mystic Cure pump through your wound.
I knew there was a reason I stood by the mystic.
Take 8 hit points back.
That does leave 1 extra.
I don't need it. It goes into the ether.
Goes into the ether.
Yeah, that's all right. And that was my standard action. So I'm going to also, I'm going to burn a resolve point and activate my Song of the Spheres. And you all get a small. You hear faint echoes of music begin creeping into your the edge of your hearing. And you feel bolstered by this, gaining a +1 bonus to morale bonus to attack and damage rolls,
Nice.
as well as
Nice.
saves against fear effects. Not that I think
I'm
this
just gonna
goblin is
go
going to
ahead and
produce
make
those.
a buff for that.
You might as well. That's going to come up. And that is everything Jacinto can do. That is a move and a standard, and I don't have a swift.
Finn, how do you respond to this? I mean, it looks feral, out of its mind. It's got a crude chunk of metal that it stabbed your newfound friend with, and it's licking the blood off of that blade right now.
Is there a wall between me and it, or do I have a clear shot to it from where I'm standing?
You have a clear shot. It's standing, like, on the closet,
Okay.
basically.
Well, I'm going to take a swift action to become photon attuned.
Okay.
And I am not a fan of this goblin because he almost killed my friend with one hit.
Right.
So I'm going to
So
swing at him with my void gauntlet that I summoned earlier. Let's see, if I just click this, will it do the thing? I'll do a full attack with it. Do the thing.
Hey, that second one looks good.
And I also get a +1 to each of those because of the buff.
The first one will definitely miss. The second one definitely does hit. So +1 damage from Jacinto, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
+1 from Photon Attunement, if I remember correctly.
That's already added
Which
on.
it-
I got a buff box in there,
Oh.
so that's already calculated.
Awesome. So 7 damage, you said.
Yep.
That was a pretty serious blow, but it's still standing.
Uh-oh.
This is not one of the goblins that you faced in that previous
Well.
encounter.
No. This goblin is much more dangerous for some reason.
I'm gonna shout at the goblin too. Leave my friends alone! I've got him pretty god. If he tries to move without shifting, I'm gonna get him.
He, as much as a goblin can, screams and roars in your face in like a bestial challenge, and just launches himself at you. Just strike after strike after strike thrown at you. And there's going to be a full attack that happens.
Nice.
oh, rude.
At least I got his attention. That makes me happy.
Suspense.
Mm-hmm.
Does a 13 hit you?
EAC or KAC?
KAC.
KAC meets.
Okay. Let's see. So the first strike will hit, the second one will miss.
Okay.
Oh,
For
boy.
10 points of damage.
Dang.
Ow! That's a mean goblin.
This
It
fucking
is.
goblin.
I still have 3 though.
Oh. That's all its actions. It did a full attack. It just unleashed all its fury on this frankly frightening human that's just, well, what they, human from their perspective.
Human-ish.
Yeah, human-ish that just struck them and got in the way of what they see is their rightful meal. And it's to Lahan.
Alright, Lahan takes a move action to activate her combat tracking, and then shoots that goblin. Let's see. 13 to
Plus
hit
1,
EAC?
14. Oh, did you already add the +1 in?
Out of the... That's in there. It's a hit.
Yeah.
That's 4 cold damage.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I just built the Song of the Spheres buff, so Tom, you'll have to let me know when and if that bonus changes.
It doesn't ever, actually. It just gets more things stacked onto it, which is weird. So instead of the buff scale,
Well, as you add things,
I'll let you know.
then I guess.
It's still standing, but it looks pretty beat up.
What if we add 3 damage from our +1s? I guess these guys have turns. Finn can use it if it gets to Finn and it's not dead.
It's Jacinto's turn.
All right.
But like this thing is vascular. It's berserk. Its veins are standing up.
Gross.
It is wiry as hell, foaming, bloody foam coming out of between its fangs.
Okay.
Attractive.
Well, this thing needs to be put down then. It just killed this guy. And it definitely intends to kill us. So Jacinto is going to look around the room quickly and see a small rocking horse in the corner, and is just going to try and huck it at the goblin wildly.
A six-legged rocking horse, in quotes.
Yes, it's a rocking skitter. So this is... I really need to build a macro for this. I just don't intend to throw things much. Oh, that's a 20. An unnatural 20.
Hits. Super hit.
And that is going to be a d6 plus 1 for the Song of the Spheres. 5 points of bludgeoning damage as a rocking space horse smacks into this goblin.
It smacks into it, drawing blood. There's some blood just pouring over one of its eyes. It's gasping and still sort of like just unintelligibly making noise as it's in between its screams of rage, but it's still standing. It's kind of swaying in place though. And we're on to Finn's turn.
All right.
Jacinto looks very sort of shocked by what he just did.
Nice, Jacinto. Jacinto.
Thanks. It is an H sound. I was going to let you know later. It's okay.
All right.
Hans provincial. Good character flaw. Fine.
Gonna keep my photon attunement going. So I got 2 attunement in that, and I'm gonna just do another full attack at him.
So you're doing a photon attunement. How does that change your gauntlet that is made up of like an absence of light when photon itself is light?
I had not considered that. I assumed that it affects my moat and not my gauntlet, because my gauntlet itself is black hole themed. I imagine that my moat, which is also typically black hole themed, might have a little bit of light, like farther out from the darkness.
What do you think of maybe like within the absence of light, there's just like almost like you're seeing a star being born. Just like a hint of it at the center of your hand, maybe.
I could dig that.
You don't like it.
I was thinking about it. I could dig that. Oh man, those are 2 good ones.
Oof.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. Tell me how you
Go down, you little beast!
Tell me how you destroy it.
Well, it's 2 punches, because it's a gauntlet. So the first punch is the one that does the most damage. So that one is going to go directly to his little goblin head. Probably slightly caving in one of his eye sockets. And then the second one is going to go to his gut, finishing him off, and sending the small goblin body crumpling to the floor.
And we're out of initiative. And how are you going to respond to this awful experience? Brief though it was.
That goblin was not like the goblins at the carnival.
No. It just...
What was that?
It killed that man single-handedly. That guy's dead.
I mean,
is there anything...
Face.
This isn't a light wound either, looking down at his own wound.
Yeah. Jacinto will... Finn lost stamina points, not hit points, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
staminas.
Oh, okay, all right.
And all your...
I think I've got my things backwards.
That's okay.
Oh, I forgot stamina comes off before hit points. It's been a while since I've done Starfinder.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I started it. So, you're out of stamina, but you have all your hit points, I believe.
Yep, that's perfect.
Yeah. Jacinto will just futilely reach down and try and cast Stabilize, try and see if he can do anything for this guy, but the guy's face is gone, so that's kind of rough.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I don't think it's gonna help Jacinto.
Uh,
Jacinto.
Apparently Judy is watching me. I got a text.
Oh, that's
Hi,
nice.
Judy!
Hi, Judy. I
Hi,
know.
baby.
I know he's probably not coming back. I wanted to try. I don't want to tell them that he's dead.
Yeah, you sort of immerse yourself in the song, and you try and channel that energy into his body to stabilize his injuries. And the song goes, at least in regards to him, it goes silent.
That is awful. Yeah. That Jacinto is rocked by this, and just sort of wobbly stands up and says, "There's yeah, he's gone. Um, I guess we'd better tell his family. Let's cover up the goblin or something. Maybe take the goblin out. Uh, got a blanket or anything like that? We should cover up the.
There's the
What was that?
rug, there's the comforter.
Ruin
Oh
her
yeah.
book, but we should definitely remove his body from his child's room. That would be
Yes. Yes.
traumatizing to say the least.
So cover the goblin,
Where?
cover the body. I can go. I can go talk to the family. I'll talk to the wife.
What am I doing in here in the first place?
That's what I don't understand. Can we make perception
I'm
checks?
just gonna look in the closet.
Yeah, make perception checks. Look in the closet.
I will perceive with a 20, an unnatural 20.
Lahan will try. Hey, it's a 19.
All really good. So you look in the closet and you see that there was like a little fur blanket type, like it, just like something that you'd give like the kid to like cuddle with, and that was on that it looks like that was probably on the bottom of the closet, and the bottom of the closet has actually been broken open, and you look inside and it looks like the goblin was surviving living underneath the house. And you can see where there it's just bare under there. Like you don't even see spiders. You don't see any insects that would naturally be living underneath in this like dark environment that's prime for insect activity. They're all gone.
Hmm.
And
How?
you could maybe put two and two together. Like maybe not all the goblins got out of town. Maybe this one decided to hide, and maybe it was just in its desperation it hid under this house.
It was it went feral.
I assume goblins are normally pretty feral to begin with, aren't they?
Many
Yeah,
of
but
them.
I
The ones
high
around here,
metabolism.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
local goblins, Lahan would know this. A lot of the local goblins, like there are goblins that are fine. There's there's a tribe of goblins that's not completely awful, but a lot of the local goblins are nowhere near as civilized as some of the ones that you've read about. I imagine Lahan reads.
Yeah, voraciously.
Yeah. So, like, you've read about goblins that are just as civilized as you or Jacinto or Finn, and then you know that your most of your experiences with the local ones, in that you know that you've heard awful stories. A lot of them are kind of just awful, and there's some that are less awful, but you know there's potential for some of them to be normal and some of them to be just bad. And you think this one was on the bad cannon, and then it was hungry, and goblins have little fiery, fast metabolisms, and it got hungry. One thing I forgot to put a token of, I did mention it, but I forgot to put a token in the room. There is a deceased dog near the child's bed with a broken off bit of that blade in its side.
Oh.
And I mean, you can put the scene together from based on what the mother said and what you've walked into. The dog died defending the child. That's what alerted the parents to the danger.
Uh-huh. Yeah, with the dog screaming.
It was a good doggo.
We should. Really good doggo. We should talk to the mother and perhaps
Keep the child out of here until
Have
the
her-
mother's had a chance to clean this all up. We could help her clean it up
Yeah.
as well.
we should clean it up for her. Maybe let's see if we can find some old sheets to wrap the bodies. And then maybe throw this goblin in a ditch.
Yeah.
Do we find any old sheets or linens
the
that we can
goblin a
use
little
to wrap bodies in?
Oh, I mean, yeah. There's up by the front door. There's a closet. If you go looking, like if you actually want to take the time and look and not just use the rug or the child's blankets or whatever, there's a closet here towards the front of the house. You can find some linens in there.
We're going to take the time and look so we
Yeah,
don't ruin the kids'
Mahan
bedding.
will take the time to, find like her oldest, brattiest sheets, and use those.
Yeah, no problem. You know, like wrap the father maybe, probably wrap the dog, I imagine, and I don't know, cover up the goblin probably less carefully.
Yeah, cover up the goblin.
Yeah,
Carry it out of the house.
and then we'll go talk to the mother.
Yeah.
And when you exit the house, she's standing there and she looks worried. And there's one of the town guards standing there, just wearing some light body armor, pistol at their hip, and they're talking to him, and he's got his hand on her shoulder. I mean, a lot of people. This is a relatively small town, a little bit over 1,000 people. Especially like the local patrolmen probably know a lot of the people in the area that they regularly patrol. He's talking to her, trying to calm her down. And as you exit, she looks up and she just has this look of hope on her face.
Oh no.
And when she doesn't see her husband behind you, her face starts to just kind of crumble a little bit. And she's like, where is he?
I'm really sorry. We should. Are the kids there?
Yeah, she's holding the baby, and she's holding the hand of the toddler.
Then Jacinto simply shakes his head. No.
And she
Do I?
crumples. Like, she's wailing. It's like her soul died. And the baby and the toddler start crying because they don't know what happened exactly, but they know that their mother is heartbroken.
Jacinto goes over and, pats her on the shoulder, and he's speechless. Normally he has things to say, in pretty much any situation, but he just he pats her on the shoulder and then he backs off.
And I imagine this happens for a minute or two. And shortly after that minute passes, we get our stoic Goran sheriff moving at not a sedate pace. He's moving very quickly, but he looks just very calm. Like he's moving deliberately and in a deceptively quick manner because he's been radioed by his patrolman. They know something's up. And he sees you on the scene and he pauses for a moment and he just kind of takes everything in and he moves over and he crouches down next to her and he's whispering to her. He's talking to her very quietly. You don't hear what's going on. And he looks up and he tells the patrolman to, get a car over here, take her to the cathedral. Father Xantus will know what to do. Check their records, see if she has any family. Contact them. And after he says that, and he manages to sort of not dismiss her, like he obviously cares about this woman in that he cares about all of the people he's responsible for, even if he doesn't show it the best. Once he gets her in the hands of his patrolman, and that's taken care of, he'll turn and he'll look at you, and he'll just sort of nod. And man, I want him wearing a cowboy hat. He tips his cowboy hat at you because all of a sudden he has a cowboy hat, and he just.
Well,
says,
I mean, yeah.
He's a sheriff on a colony moon, and he just says, "Thank you very much for your assistance. Once again, you're helping this town out, and like, two of you, like, I don't even know you. You, I know of. You helped before, but thank you for your assistance."
Of course, she came running out asking for help. We couldn't not. It appears one of the goblins from the attack was hiding under her house.
We killed it. I've got the goblin body in my arm still. I don't know what to do with it.
Oh no!
Sort of cast it.
You could just put that over around the corner. We'll dispose of that.
Go dump it around the corner.
The people of this town have seen enough of that for a while.
I feel like I have too. I'm sorry that we couldn't.
Look at you for a moment and nod.
I'm sorry that we couldn't save him.
I mean, I'm sure you did everything you could. Thank
Certainly
you.
tried.
Three of you, and where's your other friend? Where's your other friends? I believe there were two of you, and he gestures at Jacinto. Ava wandered off. I mean, that sounds like her.
My brother was back with the carnival. I think he's packing up his effects. He's looking to stay around town actually, so you might see more of him. But
That's excellent. I mean, you helped in a time of need. A welcome addition to the town. As are you.
oh, thank you.
If you're looking for something to do, or if you wouldn't mind, helping the town out some more. We did lose some guards. I might maybe get your contact information. I might, if it's okay, I could probably use your help at some point.
Oh yeah, that would be fine. Here's my information.
Okay.
Always happy to help.
So much. And he'll sort of like he'll kind of smile, and the smile's probably very minimal. It's like just a little bit of an upturn at the corner of his mouth. He'll just nod at you. He's like, "Thank you, Lahan. I'll call you."
I've never killed any of the smugglers. I have only knocked them out and then called him.
It's not that. Your family, your brothers will kill me if I call you.
Oh, don't worry about them.
Well,
they're all
right.
bluster.
As
Take
long
your
as
word
I'm
for
around
it,
town,
and-
I'm always willing to help as well.
Excellent. I mean, I know Lahan. I've met this person here before.
Jacinto.
Sorry, the name escaped me.
No, that's
Jacinto
quite all right.
before. I've not met you. You have a, and I would definitely think I would remember meeting you. You have a very distinctive appearance. I'm Sheriff Hemlock.
Finn Holtz. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Finn Holtz. Yeah, you give me your contact information. I'll definitely give you a call if we need some help.
He gives him his communicator number, cell phone thing. Sci-fi.
Excellent. And he just kind of tips his hat to you, and he's like, "I'll be in touch." And he wanders out into the crowd that's gathered and sort of fades from sight. And as he fades from sight, I think that's where we call scene.
Cool.
Because it's right around
Yep,
10
that's a good
o'clock my
place.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got to be heroes again, guys.
Yeah. We did. We didn't save the guy though, which never feels great. But
Oh man, that was a sad scene.
I don't think that you can save the
Well-
guy in this module. I think it's written that
No.
you lose him every time.
Paizo loves doing that.
We should have made them dwarves. Sacrificial dwarf.
We would have sacrificed the obligatory dwarf, yes. Could have named him Creel.
Yep.
I forgot to write down what species. Oh, Stellifera. They were Stellifera.
I just have such a hard time taking anything with
find it all
Stellifera seriously.
Yeah, so like we said Stellifera, and then I totally described it as a person's face. It was definitely like an octopus with their face, like a cuttlefish with their face like eaten off, and they were laying in a bloody puddle is what it would have to be. And I'm sorry I goofed there.
That's all right.
Yeah, Ghost pulling the body out would have been pretty easy. It would have been more like cradling it in your hands. Just,
You were slipping in the
poor
water.
dead
That's why it was harder.
Yeah.
yeah.
Bloody water. Yeah, it was slippery there.
Oh god.
But
oh, God.
so this Sunday it's going to be another Threefold Conspiracy, episode 2, as the investigators begin to delve into the mystery aboard the Chimera.
Yeah.
And then next Thursday we'll be back with episode 3 and hopefully an alive Leaf.
Hopefully.
Hopefully we get to
Anyone
resurrect him. Maybe he'll be a Bore as well.
Anyone has any questions, comments, concerns? Email
Welcome.
us at nonstandardaction@gmail.com. Hit us up on Discord. There's links below on the Twitch page.
I thought this was an invite for me to make a comment. I'm going to comment now. I'm going to cut in and interrupt you and
do
say,
that.
welcome, Lapis. It was wonderful playing with you
Yes.
today.
That was definitely fun getting to play with you guys. Even if I am a little bit of a noob to
Yes.
online tabletops.
You fit in just fine.
I'm used to pen and paper.
Yeah, great job today.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really liked everything that happened today.
Yeah. This is going to be a good
I
party.
hope you guys had fun, and I hope the people that watched had fun. And Judy, baby, you need to go to bed. It's 10 o'clock. I love you, but please go to bed.
Professor Timeslip, we are doing this every Thursday night. Great question. Every Thursday, 8 p.m. EST, 7 p.m. CST, 5 p.m.
EST.
PST, 4 p.m.
4 p.m. Alaska time.
AKAST. Yeah. Roughly 3 hours each time, give or take 10 minutes. And yeah, so we'll be here every Thursday. Welcome to new viewers, by the way, who are here on our Thursday time slot, who maybe can't make our Sunday time slot.
If you haven't already, if you're brand new, scroll down below this stream and join our Discord server. We'd love to hear from you. We have a really great community over there, and we're always happy to welcome new people.
And we have the memes.
We have the meme.
We share lots of memes.
Yes,
My
Timeslip, there
understanding
is.
yes. Yeah. I mean, I hear tell that it's there. I haven't seen anything that
yeah,
disproves
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But do any of you guys have anything else to say?
Thank you for running.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for playing. It was awesome. You guys are awesome.
Nope, you definitely did
You're awesome.
a fantastic job making that guy feel slimy. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and then making
Glad
it
I managed to
sad
make
with
that
the
happen.
monster guy. Oh man, I almost cried like for reals, Jet. On stream.
Yeah, no, like when you described like the music like just snuffing out, I was like, oh no, I can't cry because now they can see my face if I cry.
I mean, you guys are going to see me cry at some point, not necessarily because I'm sad, but because anytime I try and do a voice, like 9 times out of 10, my tear ducts just uncontrollably start flowing, and I don't know why. It's weird.
Huh. I did see you dab one time today.
Yeah.
I just imagined something completely different when you said that.
Oh.
Dab.
I did see you dab one time.
But let's say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for watching. And
Bye,
everyone,
everybody.
yourselves.